So obviously, at Hilton Worldwide, with 10 hotel brands and hotels all around the world, we think deeply about customer experience every day. And each of our brands has a whole culture team that works, who thinks about that deeply. I'm not going to talk about that today. I'm going to talk about our common ingredient across our brands, which is our Honors program, and talk to you a little bit about how loyalty is a key ingredient, a key driver of customer experience. And I think you saw in the write-up that we're celebrating our 25th birthday for Honors. So I think it's a particularly good time to take a look back at where we actually started in this business. And I think I just hit this button, this one. Okay, great. So 25 years ago, Honors started as a scratch-off program that was administered by our front desk. So it was like a lot of programs back then. It was really nothing more than you do this and we'll give you points for that kind of reward program. And it was really rooted in over 100 years of these kinds of programs. Now, most of this audience is probably way too young to remember S&H green stamps. I remember my mother sticking the green stamps into it, because I'm old. But this program actually dates back to something like 1898, which I didn't know. And at its height, you'd go into a store and you would shop, and retailers would give you stamps, and you paste them in a book, and you could use them to buy more things. At its height, it was issuing more stamps than the U.S. Postal Service. So I bring this up only to show that rewarding loyalty and these kinds of programs is deeply ingrained in us as a society and not something that's going to go away anytime soon. You probably have read recently about the death of loyalty. I see a lot of those things going around. Well, I'm here to tell you it's alive and well, certainly in the hospitality industry. I'm sure in your businesses as well. We have over 34 million Honors members, and we add millions of them every year. So loyalty really is a key component of driving the customer experience. So what I'm going to talk to you about today is really sort of three trends that we see. The first is that driving a great customer experience requires getting to know and rewarding and honoring your best customers. It's critical to the customer experience. And the second thing is that it isn't, unlike the S&H green stamps example, it isn't any longer just about you do this and we reward you for that. In the guest loyalty programs, the frequent flyer programs, probably in many of your programs, people are looking for more than that. It's not just about points, but they want to know what can they do with them, what experience can they have. So we'll talk about that. And then, of course, you can't get off the stage today if you don't talk about how technology is changing all of us in terms of how we do our business and how it's changing our customers' demands on us. So let's start with loyalty. But before I do, I just want to quickly introduce myself. Everyone knows Hilton brand. That's been around for 75 years. But I work for Hilton Worldwide, and I'm responsible for marketing a portfolio of brands. We have 10 of them. So we have 2 luxury brands, a Waldorf Astoria Collection, and a Conrad, which is we're just bringing into the U.S. now. It's a luxury business hotel. We have 3 full-service brands, Hilton, DoubleTree, and Embassy Suites. Our focus service brands are Hilton Garden Inn, Hampton, Homewood Seats, and a brand new brand called Home 2. And then, of course, we have a timeshare called Hilton Grand Vacations. So just a little bit about us. We have 3,900 hotels, and these hotels are in 90 countries around the world. Just thinking about that compared to Starbucks, which seems to be on every street corner, they're in 50 countries. So we're quite global. And every year, we're serving 115 million guests. We have over 250,000 employees delivering customer experiences every day to a lot of people. So when you think about that, it's a challenge for us because we want to build loyalty. We want to drive great customer experiences across 3,900 hotels, 10 brands with 250,000 employees. And for us, the Hilton Honors is the link that allows us to do that. It's the ingredient that we want everyone to find, whether you're checking into a Waldorf Astoria to experience a luxury experience, or you're checking into one of our very homey, very friendly Hamptons. We want there to be a certain common element in the experience, and that's what Honors provides to us. So because we have basically at any given night, half the people checking into our hotels are Honors members. So this is a really critical point for us. And kind of just to riff off of what I heard this morning, at the end of the day, it's the people part that matters. So one of the things that we've done is launch a program called Honor Every Guest that's intended to let us train 250,000 employees around the globe on how to deliver the Honor experience the same way every time. And it begins with the check-in. So when people are checking in, we train through our Honor Every Guest program that the first thing you want to do is recognize the guest if they are an Honors member And if they're not an honors member, to invite them to join, because you have obviously a very personal touch point. And you'll be happy to know it's not annoying to people. 1 out of 3 people will ask just by joining, so it's important to ask them. But an even more important statistic for those of us in the customer experience business is that people, over 50% of people will remain loyal to the first loyalty program they join. So getting every single team member at our front desk around the globe to enroll people is really critical to us to start to engage our folks. But obviously that's just the first step. When you think about it, the front desk experience is the heart of the experience that we deliver. So the rest of the Honor of a Guest program focuses on the next 2 pieces, which is to recognize our honors members and then to make sure we tell them about the honors benefits that they'll be receiving on property that day, and then of course to make sure that we deliver those benefits. And what we've learned, or what we've relearned, is you'll not be surprised to know that what gets measured and rewarded gets done. So instead of just making this a training program, we've built it into basically a marketing program as well. So for Honor Every Guest, we need to keep it fresh, right? Our front desk people turn over, they get busy, they have a lot of things they have to do. So we set quarterly goals for each of our hotels on the number of new guests they should be enrolling. And then we also set targets for the actual customer experience, because we have customer satisfaction surveys that we do in every hotel, and we can see whether someone has been recognized as an honors member and received their benefits, been upgraded or whatever. So we do two different things. One is we run quarterly programs and campaigns with the front desk staff, so that they compete against other hotels in their brand, and they have a chance to win team rewards. And our biggest one most recently was the front desk received $10,000 to have a party or do something with, and then there were others. But that's not enough, because we have a whole brand performance group who oversees the operation of our hotels. So we decided we'd give them some skin in the game, and we also run quarterly competitions for the managers and the people who make sure that we're delivering our customer experience on property. We have contests for them as well. So we spend a lot of time just thinking about the human aspect of how we deliver our best experience. And I'm very glad we're not in the Hilton right now, because you'd raise your hand to tell me that you did or didn't get exactly what you should have gotten at the front desk. So why do we care? I mean, we obviously, all of us as customer experience people, we talk about, we want to deliver a great experience. We want to surprise and delight our guests. But as we also know, the real reason we want to do that, when we're talking to our bosses, is it drives the bottom line. So just take a look at this. Over here, we do lots of survey research, like all of you. And on the left-hand side of the screen are the results of a survey we did where we asked people who are members of guest loyalty programs, Honors, Marriott, et cetera, so a whole bunch. But they're not elite members. They just maybe have just joined. And we asked them, when you go to choose a hotel, what's the top reasons that you chose the particular hotel that you booked? And if you're not an elite member, the thing that comes to the top is price. What was the room rate? That was my first choice. And then the quality of the room, and where was it located, and did I get free things? And the fourth or fifth most important thing was their frequent guest, their loyalty program, which is pretty good. But when you go to the right, to what we call elite members, so in the honors world, it's Silver, Gold, Diamond, it's 1K in United, so to the elite members, these are the road warriors, the very heavy travelers. And we said, why did you pick the hotel you booked? You see a different picture. The most important reason they picked it was room quality. No one is going to sacrifice that. But the second most important reason they picked that hotel was their frequent guest program. It was rated above rate, price, location, complimentary services, on-property amenities, level of service, et cetera. So when you deliver great experiences and you build loyalty, it means that at least your best customers will choose you because of that loyalty program, and they'll put it ahead of price and location. So even if a competitor is less expensive or near to the wedding or the meeting, they'll still go with one of our hotels. So very important to our bottom line. Like all of you, we measure something called share of travel wallet. It's like share of financial wallet. Each industry does it. And obviously, we want not just our fair share, but more than our fair share of everyone's business, just like everyone in the room. So here's another way to look at the power of building loyalty. So if you're not a member of Honors today, we get about 10% of the nights that you're on the road. So if you're on the road 100 nights, we get 10 of them, which is about our percentage of hotel rooms in any marketplace. So it'd be roughly our fair market share. If you join honors, that's a blue tier level, but you haven't made us your primary, maybe you're still more loyal to Marriott, we almost double the share of wallets. Now we're getting almost 20% of your nights on the road. Once you decide to make, and we all do this, we pick one of the programs our primary one. So if you choose to make ours your primary one, but you're still at that entry level, we've now doubled again the share of your travel that we get, up to 40%. And as you go up our tiers to silver, gold, and diamond, we're capturing 50, 60, 74%. So by the time you reach the diamond level with us, we're getting 3 out of 4 nights you're on the road. And to be a gold or diamond member, you're on the road 60 nights a year and more. So again, a very critical component of driving our bottom line. And then the 2 other sort of key points is when you do join, from the time you join honors, we start to track how much you spend with us. And the difference between someone who joins at that blue level and doesn't is an incremental $550 to us annually. So what we like to, one of the things that actually some of these slides we put together, we actually put them together for our actual hotels, because when you talk to your hotels, and tell me if this rings a bell, you will hear, oh my gosh, these Diamond members are so demanding. They have so many stories about demanding Diamond members. And what we always tell them is, well, first of all, what I tell them is, what's your favorite sports team? And they'll say, whatever it is, the Washington Redskins or whatever. And I'll say, well, if you think about rabid sports fans, nobody loves their fans, their teams more, but nobody is harder on them. Like my husband and sons were Redskins fans. It's the coach, it's this. I should have traded that person. Why did I do this? I mean, they're very harsh. Well, that's what these folks are like too. So we put these slides together in part to explain to them the power of what they do when they deliver great service. And one of the ways we show that is that one diamond member spends the same as 2 golds, 4 silvers, however many that is, or 20, and something like 20 blue tier members. So again, these people are demanding, but giving them great service has a huge impact on our bottom line. We obviously we're in the heads and beds business, and we talk about that a lot. So we have seen a steady increase. When we launched Honors back 25 years ago, I think it accounted for a whopping 4% of the nights people occupied rooms. Now we're actually up over half of our rooms on any given night are occupied by Honors members. So again, this is a critical business driver for us for driving revenue, driving occupancy, driving market share. So as I mentioned, getting people to join a loyalty program, it's pretty easy. Getting people to stay in a loyalty program takes a lot more work. So I think everyone's heard this quote from Benjamin Franklin, but when you're finished changing, you're finished. We take that very seriously. And about 3 years ago, we went through a pretty big, deep dive into loyalty in general, into honors in particular. We hadn't done it in a while, so we needed to do a refresh of the program. And we did it at a time when not only do we have our traditional competitors in the marketplace, but those of us in the hotel and the airline industry have a whole new group of competitors in terms of online travel agencies who are also starting their own sort of loyalty programs. So it was really important for us to take a fresh look at what was going on in the industry. So we did that. We did a lot of listening through all kinds of ways, and we found several things about our program. The first is, and this is true of our program, and it's true of loyalty programs in general, and that is that people want way more ways to use points. So yes, people do want to rack up points, but they want to be able to use them faster. They don't want to see them expire. They don't want them to just mount up and become basically a burden. They want to use them quickly. So we listened to them, and we started to introduce some new products that allowed them to use points more quickly. One of them, as an example, is points and money rewards, which means that you can take, if you've only been a member for a while, you can take a few points and connect that with cash and get a free night or a reduced cost night much quicker. The second thing we heard is, we're supposed to be your best guests, but you've got all these premium rooms and beautiful rooms that we can't use honors for, so open them up. So we did. So we opened up over 200,000 of our premium rooms, our most beautiful ocean suites and luxurious corner rooms, and made those available using your honors points with 2 new products. The third thing we heard is, I'm loyal to you. Make sure you're always showing loyalty to me. That came out loud and clear. So that's why we introduced the honor of a guest came directly out of that, to really make sure that at the front desk every single time we are recognizing and rewarding our members. And then we also listen to people. I think in every industry there has been a sort of a move towards breaking things up and making people choose and pay more. people feel nickel and dimed. So for our elite members, we wanted to remove that feeling, and we've combined a lot of the benefits so that they no longer have to choose whether they want breakfast or an upgrade Wi-Fi. We're giving that to our best guests. And then finally, they want way more ways to earn and use their points. We don't have a hotel everywhere, and sometimes people's travel patterns change. So we've done a lot to expand the utility of honors, to really make it a currency. We have a big new shopping mall that has over 20,000 items that people can earn and use their points for. We have co-branded credit cards, and then we have lots of sponsorships and sports sponsorships and ways for people to use them. The main thing that we heard, though, was it isn't about the points. So I think all of us, especially if you've worked with your brand teams, we think a lot about what are the actual functional benefits of our program, of our product, of our service. And those are important. But they're table stakes. And what we heard over and over again from our guests and our honors members is that's not what the big motivating factor is for joining honors and being in it. It's really about taking the hard work, the many nights that you have on the road as a road warrior, away from your family, away from your friends, using those points to then celebrate with your family and friends on a vacation or on an experience that creates these incredible, memorable experiences that you laugh about forever. So we did a lot of research into that, and we wanted to find a way to both inspire all of our team members in delivering that experience when people come on property. And we also wanted to stake out a completely different position in the marketplace with consumers to actually talk to them about these experiences. And like all good marketers, we created a brand essence video that we use with our consumers and with our customers to show what we mean. And I'm going to try to get that to play now, although I may need some help from the back. And it won't make you cry. Or it'll be tears of joy.
At Hilton Honors, we believe in the value of a well-worn passport. After all, isn't travel the best way to get to know people? Even the ones you already know? And that's why Hilton Honors is more than just a guest loyalty program. With 10 distinct hotel brands, one for every budget and any occasion, we believe in honoring you with extraordinary experiences. In fact, with over 3,800 hotels in 88 countries, your next vacation is always our top priority. Because when you break out of your routine, you actually have time to talk, to listen, and to form real connections over the experiences you're sharing. You have hundreds of ways to earn and redeem points every day through our partnerships with credit cards, retailers, and airlines. And to book hotel reward stays faster than ever, you can use a combination of points and money. Honors points can be used for any room, anytime, anywhere, including the most luxurious rooms and suites. Your points can even guarantee upgrades with virtually no restrictions. At Hilton Honors, we want you to have experiences to talk about, laugh about, and remember for a lifetime. Experiences like this are honors you've earned, and honors are best when shared. Hilton Honors. Experiences worth sharing.
So as you can see, we've changed the dialogue with our consumers. We replaced what was our advertising, like everybody else's. You'd see empty beaches and empty hotel rooms. And everything we do now is around the experience you can create. We shot all of those videos. All that came from experiences around our properties that our concierges send people to. So we're really focusing on experiences we're sharing and building out those experiences that you can take advantage of and using your points. Again, it's a big competitive differentiator for us. Obviously, I won't talk about all this today, but we're working through every single touch point along our consumer journey to make sure that we're building in those consumer experiences. This is just our new website that recently launched, but we're also taking a look at our social media, our call centers, our mobile apps, again, with the goal to making sure that we are, in fact, delivering and surprisingly delighting our customers at every touch point. So in order to do that, it brings us to obviously, technology. I think there isn't an industry that's not being impacted right now. When you think about the incredible surge in big data applications and mobile applications and social media applications and one-to-one targeting applications, it obviously is something we think about all the time, but I think the most interesting thing about it is how it has completely changed our customers' expectations of us. So I don't know about you, but now when I go on a website or I call a call center, I expect them to know who I am, to recognize me, to serve up offers that make sense to me. When you don't do that, you get reprimanded. I was at a conference board branding council meeting last week, and I was speaking, and someone raised their hand and said, well, you know, Nancy, I live in San Francisco, and I just got one of your newsletters, and you gave me an offer for a hotel in San Francisco. So people, that was a mistake. So people, our consumers expect us to know who they are and to deliver this one-to-one service. So we have spent the last few years, we've always had a CRM system, but we've done a lot of work to overhaul it. We now have built out a database that has over 100 million guest records, honors records. We obviously retain everything we can about what you do when you're on property with us, how you book with us, how you shop with us, what brands you like. And then we bring in lots of data from data sources around your other incomes, socioeconomic status, et cetera, what you buy, what you shop, to build this very rich database. And obviously, the goal of it is to create that very sort of tailored customer experience for our customers at every touch point. And I will show you a little video that captures, we call this program Customer 360 or C360. I'm going to show you another video that won't make you cry.
Introducing Customer 360, the powerful new data solution at the heart of Hilton Worldwide CRM efforts. No matter where our guests travel around the world or which brand they choose, C360 makes it possible to collect, store, access, and utilize a multitude of data points about each individual guest. Why is this important? Because if we know them well, we can serve them better. The entire organization, from reservations to the front desk, hotel managers to the concierge, will be able to leverage this deeper understanding of our customers using existing Hilton Worldwide systems to create more relevant messaging and deliver exceptional guest experiences. Let's take a look at how C360 brings it all together by exploring some customer examples. Recently, Brad booked a surprise stay at the Bora Bora Nui Hilton Resort and Spa. Because we know that they have booked at least 2 spa services in the past, and they subscribe to several lifestyle magazines, we texted a spa coupon to Brad within minutes of his call. Seeing the value and knowing Rochelle would enjoy it, he immediately called back to book a massage and facial. Rochelle loved it, and Brad loved that we made him look so good. But the best part is, the improved relevancy of the C360-powered messages created incremental revenue for the property and an improved experience for the guest. Whether you're a general manager, regional or brand management, or corporate marketing, the C360 view will allow you to see shifts in customer behavior, understand how these changes impact our business, and react faster than ever before. Hilton Worldwide Customer 360, 600,000 rooms, 3,700 hotels and resorts, 82 countries, 6 continents, 11 brands, 1 customer view, making it easier to deliver exceptional guest experiences every time, everywhere, so you can continue to fill the earth with the light and warmth of hospitality.
So obviously, we're using 360 really in every channel. I think you will all agree that this is really a journey, not a destination. I mean, every single day we're testing and learning about how to make this work and how to make it work better. But we are, and we're taking over, we have newsletters and different things that some of them are still static, and as we can convert them over, we're converting them over to make them highly targeted to the person who's receiving them or to the region that's receiving them. And then obviously this will also help us as we move into mobile platforms. So that's a very exciting, especially for obviously the hospitality industry, the travel industry. Getting mobile apps to really be in your pocket, helping you all the time, is our dream. We've got several of them out there. Some of them are fairly workmanlike, but we have some really exciting ones in the works. And one that just launched was launched by our mysterious brand called Conrad. We think we only have 3 or 4 of them in the States right now. We just opened one in New York. And again, this is sort of a luxury, very business-oriented experience. And they just launched an app that's designed to bring the ability to get luxury service at your fingertips from their app. So I'm going to show you my last video on that new product.
My name is Claire Newell. I'm a travel journalist, author, and travel expert that really focuses on travel news, and that's one of the reasons I'm so excited about Conrad Concierge. Not only are they being innovative in technology, but they are the fastest growing luxury brand out there. If you have an Apple device or an Android device, you download it for free and it will liberate you. Whether you want to order a taxi, book a meal ahead of time, make a wake-up call, have a spa appointment set for yourself, it is personal luxury at your fingertips. Who knew that there were 15 different newspapers that I could pick from, and a pillow menu, and so many choices for breakfast or for lunch? Asking is sometimes awkward. You don't want to come across as a high-maintenance guest. The fact that you don't ever have to speak to somebody and you can make all these choices, you make 20 different choices if you want, without any awkwardness, and you get the room you want. This is going to appeal to the new luxury traveler, and it's a slightly younger generation, a generation that grew up with Google and Facebook. They're demanding clients, and they're also ones that are completely tech savvy. They want to do everything through their devices, their smartphones, or their tablet. Personalization and customization is a trend that is going to be there. That's the beauty of Conrad Concierge. It's so easy to use. You want simplicity. You don't want to have a complicated, fussy, doesn't do what it says it's going to do type of app. I delete those. This one has staying power simply because it's so easy to use. What Conrad is giving you through the Conrad Concierge is the luxury of picking what you want when you want to pick it. It's the difference between walking into a room and your room.
So we're very excited about the power of mobile apps. I mean, obviously, again, one of the secret sort of magical things in customer service you really want to get right is that balance between the human touch, what people want sometimes, and then letting them choose when they would really rather do it themselves, and getting that balance right. Every guest is different. Every guest has different needs or desires depending on how they've traveled, how tired they are in terms of whether they want to interact with somebody at our hotels or would rather do it online. So we're trying to get that balance right, both by giving great service at the front desk and throughout the hotel, as well as through the app. And then wherever we can, gathering information from our guests about how they'd like us to communicate with them, in what channels, and in what way. So again, we're at the beginning of this frontier, but it's very exciting. And the last thing I want to talk about really quickly is social media. Obviously, this is a very big trend in our industry. We have lots of engaged guests. There's no one more vocal than loyalty program members. They get on blogs, and you have people praising you and defending you and fighting you, so it's something you've got to keep an eye on. But I just want to talk about how we use social media a couple of ways. The first way is for traditional guest service, guest recovery, customer service. And we have a team of people who are housed with our call center folks, and they monitor all of the major social media channels, looking for people who are in our hotels, having any kind of customer experience issue, and they're the ones who intervene immediately on those to make sure that we're using that channel to deliver a great customer experience. So that's one channel. But then in terms of creating a great customer experience, which we're here to talk about today, there's a couple of things we're doing. So one is a virtual concierge. We have this up and running in about 20 countries, and we're bringing people, concierges in as we can, and we invite them to actually chat online with all consumers. So it's not just members or guests of the hotel, but anyone who would like to get tips from our concierges, who know more about the local area than really anybody, about where to eat or where to shop or where to get tickets. So it's at Hilton Suggests, and we've rolled it out in places like Italy, where we have chefs giving food tips and restaurant tips, and here in the States as well. And so that's growing, and we hope to bring that up and bring it online for all of our hotels. And then we also are trying to find innovative ways to use social media to do storytelling, right? To let our guests do storytelling with other guests. So one way we encouraged that was we did a Diamond for a Day promotion with AT&T, who's our partner for our Wi-Fi service in our hotels. And we sent 3 bloggers to New York, and obviously they got free AT&T Wi-Fi in our hotels they could talk about. But we also treated them as diamonds for the day, with all that comes with that in our hotels, as well as the concierge working with them for local experiences. And they blogged about it and told stories about it, and we reached over 800,000 consumers with 5 million tweets. So again, we're just in the beginning of all these journeys, but we were trying to find ways to making sure that we're using social media to both address customer service issues, but more importantly, more excitingly, to create the two-way dialogue, to create experiences with our guests. So that's it. So hopefully you'll agree that loyalty is key to any customer experience initiative. It's moved beyond just points to becoming a gateway to experiences. And obviously technology has changed the game for all of us. But even though all these channels have changed, I think the role of customer experience has never been more important for people like here in the audience. So thank you for letting me speak to you today. Any questions?
Questions?
So I wanted to let you know that I just recently checked into a Hilton, and when I did, they did ask me about my honors program,
Yeah.
and I didn't have my, I wasn't checked in that way. They looked it up for me, and they upgraded my room. So
Okay.
it really did work.
Phew. That's great. Thank you.
You know, I just feel that it makes sense in the travel industry, and I guess I was just curious your thoughts on loyalty programs in other industries, and how is that transferable? I know on a personal, as a consumer, I'm just tired of enough little cards that I carry around, and so I'm thinking from a technology standpoint, there's a future of sort of consolidating somehow that, so they don't have to carry along all those little key cards and things like that. So
Yeah.
just wanted your thoughts on the future.
Right. So I completely agree with you, and I think what I should have said, because I believe this, it's all about is it appropriate to you? Not every loyalty program is, and I had the same thing, you know, cards that you join and then you just don't use them. I think what happens is that there's this natural tendency that the ones that you're getting value out of and that are really making a difference in your life, you keep using, and the rest of them you put away. I think that's sort of a natural trend. I think it works in every industry. I mean, I can't think of. I mean, I certainly have booked ones, and no one's better at than Nordstrom. There's anyone Nordstrom in the room, and they create fanatical things. I think the future of it, though, is in making, and this is what we're doing, and a lot of people are, is to make those points much more valuable. So again, it used to be you got an honors point, and you could spend it for a free night, and that was it. That's not a great model, because people do. Then you have to have all these different ones. So we are, as fast as possible, and others are too, trying to make it a currency that can be used any way you want. Amex has led the way on that. You can use your Amex membership reward points to do anything. And we're forging partnerships to do the same thing, so that even though you might be earning honors points, you can still go buy an iPad if you wanted to with it, or vice versa. And I think that will that drives the utility of the programs. Yes?
Quick question. It's pretty powerful to have price be subordinate to a loyalty program. The slide you showed showing that people who are, heavy users basically
Yes.
really value their loyalty programs. At what point for you guys do you see that inflection? So is it a number of stays? Is it a number of years? How do you get people to jump from one category to the other, and where does that fall?
We talk about it all day long. So that's a great question. How do you get people to jump? That's where, first of all, I think, as you saw, and that was an interesting data point for us, because apparently, I'm new to the company, but you know how this, you do something and then you don't do it, and then you do it, and companies go like this. Well, apparently there was a pushback, I don't know, in 2000 or something, to sign people up for honors, and then they decided that they weren't sticking, so it was too expensive. And they stopped. And so when we just reintroduced it, because as you saw, just joining means you'll double your stays with us, so it makes sense. And also, in the era of big data, it doesn't cost us anything really anymore, right? That part is easy. So really, the trick of it is once you get them into the boat, how do you keep them there? And that's where the power of that CRM big data comes in, and constant testing and learning in every channel. So how often should we communicate with you before we annoy you? We're spending a lot of time on that. Which of our brands, or how do you want to hear about us? You don't want to hear about all 10 brands, is another one. And then using that power of one-to-one, because we do a lot of modeling on top of that, to send you, so let's say you seem to like chick weekends, so we know that about you. We send you an offer for a getaway with a spa, and the person next to you may be a golf fanatic, and we try to get him. So it's really, there's no silver bullet. It's constant testing and learning, using data at different touch points to see what we can do to engage people. And I think the other thing all of us, we're guilty of, is sometimes you can just ask, right? So we're also trying to build, we're in the stages, it's coming out in phases, but we want to build different ways to ask people what do you want to hear from us about. Do you want to hear about Chicago or don't you? Do you want to hear about, so rather than trying to model our way into it, we actually just ask people and try to build more into it that way.